Nacho John Madden, El Diamante, Mexico, little pueblo of 300 people along the Gulf Coast between Tampico and Veracruz. An area that is very unfrequented by tourists. I have yet to meet an American tourist in my 4 months in Mexico. It's mostly the locals, it's the Mexicans that I've had a chance to experience Mexican pueblo life, small town, rural, with the twist of a very major road that gets big trucks, a lot of traffic all day and even in the night, and a lot of people towing vehicles from the U.S. down to other parts of Central America to sell. So it's the diamond. El Diamante is the diamond, and it's there's another car in tow. It's a real odd little place, but it's sure been good for me. Now, I just had an experience that fit totally the theme of what I'm wanting to talk about here, which is surrender, which is turning it over, which is not trying to manipulate the results, because as I was pushing the button to shoot a video, the 3-year-old came up and said, "Hola, Jean." I said, "You gonna say no to her? You've done it. You've done it a couple times when you were in the middle of a video. You've done that. But no, not when you're about to start a video. She comes first." So I turned the video off and focused on little Yara, and she had her 1 minute with me, and that was all she wanted. She moved on to something else. So maybe I'll get to shoot this video. And I've got 2 threads working for me. It could be 2 separate videos, but maybe it's just one. The first is, other than mention the second. The second is really letting go of the results. And Erica, who runs the tienda, the white truck over there, who's the daughter-in-law of the family and is going to be at the party tomorrow. And she and I have a fun relationship. And she came up and said in Spanish, "Are you ready? Listo." I think she said it in English because she tries her English with me. "You ready for the party tomorrow?" And I said, "I don't know what," we went back and forth English and Spanish. "I honestly don't know what that would mean, to be ready. I am more ready for life than I've ever been before in my life. I feel like my role in life is to help life happen, to be a midwife for life. Whatever is meant, whatever is stuck, whatever is trying to happen, to lean my energy towards it. But otherwise, I have no clue what's going to happen. It's going to be life on steroids because it's going to be 200 people, and it's going to be wonderful cumbia music. And this woman, Jessica, who is such a live wire, boy, is she electrified. The whole room gets electrified when she walks in. And she's sexy and funny as hell. Funny, funny, funny. And she loves to play off of me as the honorary gringo. And flirty banter. And I'm in some ways a good foil for her because I am a big personality and can fill a room myself. But I can't improvise in Spanish because everybody speaks Spanish. So she will be improvising up a storm. And I've gotten good enough with my Spanish that once in a while I'll get off a genuinely improvised one-liner. It's in the moment. I don't have to look it up in the Google Translator. But 80% of the time, maybe 90% of the time, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm going to the Google Translator app, and the moment is gone. So even though my life is all about improv these days, and that's why I say I'm not rehearsing. I scrupulously don't rehearse. I don't have an agenda for tomorrow. Because in moment by moment, I don't know what's going to happen. The energy of it has been a little reduced because the woman I'm so preoccupied with these days is not going to be there. But that's okay because there's all kinds of other people. But I just don't know. So I said I really can't process that question of am I ready? Today was a very exciting day. Is tomorrow going to be better than today? No. It'd be different. It'd be higher, maybe higher energy, but today is like so exciting day. So, what made today so exciting? I pictured saying to Lee, long-standing friend, saying, hey, if you have any leaning towards checking out any of my current videos, what I've put up on YouTube today could be fun for you to look at, because you were there 16, 20 years ago when I first claimed the title of writer and said, shoot, I'm an Asheville artist, living the lifestyle of the Asheville artist, day jobs that don't sap my energy, so I have energy and time for my art, and writer. And when I started to travel 3 years ago, I went from writer simply to videographer, and that's a huge part of what I do now. And then from there I went to documentarian, investigative journalist, digging around in Appalachia to see who's dumping stuff in the water, who's using stuff on their crops, at times putting myself in danger. But I loved that role, and I never decided to do it. It started to happen. And when I was in a really fairly dangerous situation in Louisville, Kentucky, and put up a post on Facebook about it, my friend Julie Benish in Chicago, who's a writer I admire tremendously, said, nice dispatch. That was a well-written dispatch. And I said, bingo, Julie, you got it. That's how I see myself. I'm a reporter out on the front lines trying to tell people what's going on out here. So I've been so romantically preoccupied. A guy who has, for his lifetime, has battled sex and romance addiction. My biggest addiction. They say that Enneagram 7s like me are multi-addicts. We're not likely to get hooked on one particular drug or anything. We go back and forth among lots of fixations and addictions. And if there's nothing more interesting, we get addicted to work, and I've had that happen. But romance and sex are my biggest one. And it's gotten, over the course of 4 years since I, quotes, woke up 4 years ago, it's gotten lighter and lighter and lighter, but still quite a preoccupation. And in some ways the biggest ever, because I've been traveling and most of it has been like one-offs or a week or 2 weeks. But we've been 5 weeks of spending a big part of every day at this restaurant, and this is one of the servers. So we've had a lot of contact, and more every day. But what happened today for me was I shifted my identity from lover or potential lover or courtship to art. I got really fixated on the art. Document what's going on for you, what's going on between you, what's it like between men and women, how does this whole process work, how are the dogs metaphors for this, and what's humor, and I've got some pretty humorous videos. And it's like, this is such a great story. Capture this story. That's why you're here, is to capture this story. And you played that role of the jealous person really good. You threw yourself into that and then you let go of it. Great. Because it's all hats you try on. None of it is who you really are. So I got so focused on the art of it that I finally really, truly do not care how it turns out. Do not have a preference, to the extent that I was sitting at the tienda over there having a cigarette, and the object of my affections came by from the store here, because they go buy their stuff from the store over there. And it didn't matter. I had no emotional response. No more to her than to the fat Mexican who followed her in, or the kid on his bicycle. It's all the same. They were just people. None of them were just dust. They're all like equally perfect and important. Wow. Me. Who'd have thunk? Huh? Wow.